This is an updated demo of Jeff to show you that we can upload images, use various forms of text, all to create your own diagram in a matter of seconds, and subsequently a full threat model. I will also show you how to make use of smart views and take action where it matters most. So you can use, if we click on model with AI, you'll see there's some examples down here. So if you want to use some text options such as code for a banking application, documentation for an AI pipeline, maybe even you've had an internal meeting and you've got meeting notes, anything like that can be pasted in. I'll just show you a quick example. As you can see, this is code that's been pasted, and then Jeff will immediately start digging into the details and see how that can align to components within IriusRisk. I'm going to stop that for a moment, and what we'll do is click model with AI, and I'm going to upload an image. So you've got here add image. There we go. I'll just expand that so you can see it is a two-tier web application. And notice that it's got a couple of trust zones already defined. If I just say, please create a threat model, of course, and then Jeff will start doing its thing. Okay, so what Jeff is doing is it's beginning to match components from the image that it's seen into what we have in IriusRisk. So obviously it's listing them out, but then it also gives you this mock-up. This isn't what the end threat model looks like. This is just showing you how it's aligning what's in the image to what is in IriusRisk. So if I ask it to proceed, and then in a moment it will give us a full threat model. Here we go. That was quick. And there we are. And you may notice that it picked up the trust zone within a trust zone for those three components here, and it's dropped the rest in a generic one. And you can do all the usual things, whether you want to replace the trust zone with something else, whether you want to swap out a component. So you just select replace. You can also complete a component questionnaire. So these little icons mean that a component questionnaire hasn't been done. So if you want to, you can add additional context in that way. You can also add data flows, as you can see, and then even annotate those further by saying, oh, you know, what assets this is carrying over. Let's say it's PII is being put across. Let's say that's got HTTPS on there. Save that, and then you'll see it annotated on the diagram. So you can do all your usual stuff, whether you've used infrastructure as code, Jeff's given you a hand, you've started from scratch, you've used a template, and so on. And then if we head over to threats and countermeasures, you will see the default view is all countermeasures. So we've got 71 threats, 90 countermeasures. You can expand and click on these as expected, but we have the smart views. So these are the 4 across the top, such as top 10 high impact countermeasures, and these are really helpful where perhaps there's times you're not sure exactly where to start, so perhaps you want to see which ones will bring the most impact into your diagram. So this explanation says these countermeasures mitigate the most threats in your model. So let's run that analysis. There we go. So it's given us a top 10 here, so we can see that the rating is also high, so you've got very high above that as well, high, medium, low, etc. Now what I could do is mark this one as implemented, maybe put this one as rejected, not applicable, or out of scope, something like that. So now you'll see we've got one as rejected, one as implemented, and I can run the analysis a second time if I want to. And then basically this just gives you a rolling list of the top 10. So if, say, I've taken action on this 10, I can run the analysis again, and it will give me the next 10 along. And there we go. The 2 that we had where they was rejected and implemented down here, they've been replaced with the next ones. And then if we click on the ellipses here, we can go back to see prior views if we want to. So we've got those 2 that we took action on. You can also delete, if necessary, previous history. And yeah, you just go along, and depending on what it is you need to take action on or what's important to you, you can go through and run these accordingly. So this concludes our short demo on Jeff. We took a look at how you can import a diagram using Jeff AI, whether that be via a text option or an image option. We had a 2-tier web application as the example. We can see that it generated the diagram for us with trust zones, mapped components, data flows, and so on. And then it gave us our threats and our countermeasures, if I bring that back across. And then, of course, we took a very quick look at smart views as well and how you can take actions accordingly there.